Um, okay, so there were some questions on GroupMe that I wanted to just go over for all of you because I wanted you guys to have all the information kind of in one sitting because there's a lot of information and I wanted you guys to be able to ask questions. So we have shoes that we want to talk about. So have any of you ordered shoes or are you still about to order shoes? Where's everybody with that?
I have not. I've
Okay.
been nervous about which size to order.
Sure. Okay.
Like the
Morgan.
ones that I wore last week are 11s, but I really noticed my foot slipping in them, so I was
Okay.
wondering if maybe I should go to a 10.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to be miserable all day long either way. So
You do want the shoe to fit as snug as possible. You can, with 11s, if you feel like your foot is moving, I would say go a size down because you're going to drop water weight the last week, and you're dropping fat too, so your feet are going to shrink a little bit. So the size your foot is now in terms of like girth is going to be smaller. So if you kind of want it fitting snug, one thing you can do is take a blow dryer and warm these up. If you're having difficulty putting your shoe on, like at a size 10, you can warm these up with a blow dryer and then kind of slide your foot in, and that will get the plastic kind of soft, so you can kind of get your foot in there, and then it should, as it cools, it won't stretch. So, all right, on the home page, under posing class, there's a section called shoes and jewelry. If you go to this link, we actually worked out a deal to get all of our competitors 20% off of anything they order from this site. Um, so on the shoes, I want to show you a few different options. We tend to like the ones with the ankle strap or the ones, if you can see this shoe, the Lisa. This one has the double all the way up on the top. This is fine because it's actually going to hold your foot pretty snug on it as well. So really your options on this site are the Andrea is what I would recommend. You can do the Andrea full rhinestone if you want. I would do either this one or this one. The reason I would not do this Andrea, the first one on the top left, is because it's got a visible ankle strap and that can cut off your leg. We actually want the ankle strap to be completely clear. So that's why we don't want this one, even though it's a pretty shoe. We just want the Andrea with the clear, or the Lisa, or you can do the Carrie with the pretty rhinestone kind of detailing on it. This one has the clear ankle strap, which is great as well. So you're welcome to order these, use 20% off. If you use the 20% off, it ends up being about the same price as the ones on Amazon. So that's nice. The good thing about these shoes is they actually have better tread on them on the bottom. Um, the ones that I get off Amazon, unfortunately, just practicing in them, the tread will come off. In fact, I have to order a new pair of shoes every few months because the tread comes off. So that's kind of the upside to these shoes. If you're like, oh, I don't really know, and I know I'm gonna need the free shipping back to Amazon or whatever, then order the Amazon ones. They will do just as fine and they look just as great. But here these shoes actually are a little more durable and they're a little more comfortable. So that is my recommendation with those. So again, going back to posing shoes, our recommendations are the Andrea, the Lisa, or the Carrie. Um, I would also recommend getting these pleaser pads. We've had some girls just swear by them. They just make it fit a little bit better and it feels good. The shoes can be kind of uncomfortable, especially if you don't wear heels on a regular basis. It can be kind of painful on the pads of your feet. So go ahead and order some of those. I think you will not regret it. And then I want to we're going to talk about, well, actually, do you guys have any questions on shoes about size or
I do.
go for it?
So I actually ordered shoes,
Okay.
and I have them, and they look like this.
Yeah.
And they actually fit pretty comfortable now, but I'm worried about when I go to compete, like what my feet will look like then.
Yeah. You should be okay if they feel comfortable now. Um,
Uh-huh.
I think you'll be okay. I would say that is as you lean down, you may find that
Hmm.
your foot shrinks a little bit, and you can just go get inserts for that. That should be okay.
Okay.
We just don't want the shoe like loose on you right now. We want it pretty snug or at least comfortable, um, and not any movement on the foot. So
I have pretty narrow feet anyways, so for me to lose more weight in my feet, it would look kind of weird, I think.
okay. Um,
So if it does, then should I just buy the pleasers and just hopefully that will take up any space that I lose?
I would say so, and you can double those pleasers up too.
Okay.
So I think you'll be fine with it, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions on
No.
shoes? Okay. I usually order a pair a year. I just ordered the Lisa's, the one that don't have the ankle strap, because we got some good feedback from a few ladies who ordered them. We generally recommend always getting the ankle strap, but I'm just since we've gotten some good feedback, I was like, oh, I'm gonna check it out and see how it goes. So mine should be coming in soon. I'm kind of excited about that. Um, okay, so shoes are probably the first place to start. I want to go over. I think I'd like to go over. Let's see how much time do we have? Yeah, let me go over jewelry, and then I'm going to save hair and makeup for next week. Um, we have kind of time. So jewelry, I have some pulled out here. You guys have your, where's my other thing? If you have your Elite Coaching mental prep book, there are a few pictures of jewelry in there as well. If you have the new, I'm not, some of, we just redid these books, so the jewelry is either on page, you might have to flip through it. On my book, it's like on page 10. It may be towards the back for you, so look and see if you can find that. Um, so I'm just going to go over jewelry and what kind of the methodology is for jewelry and why we do it. Um, so for earrings, we love big, blingy, beautiful earrings. Ones that have structure. So these are mine, just to kind of give you an idea. They have structure, but they also are fun because they move. You're welcome. These are probably a little too thin and narrow, but basically you want a clear rhinestone. You want it to be dangly, and you don't want it to fall too low to your neck because you want to give yourself the illusion that you have a long neck. Um, so I love these, and I've realized that they're actually a little too long on me, and they kind of dangle right at my neckline. So I'm probably gonna have to update my earrings this year. But you're welcome to order some earrings like these on the website. I think they have a great selection there. I actually found these just in a little kiosk at the mall, and they're Swarovski crystals, and they're beautiful, and they were pretty cheap, and so I ordered also some more jewelry on eBay. Like you can find it anywhere really. The method really is to just clear crystals, blingy. Think kind of Miss America pageant in terms of just the glamour side of that. Um, so you want them really nice and blingy and pretty. Something that makes you feel like awesome. So bracelets. Okay, we don't wear necklaces, and the reason we don't wear necklaces is that you want to be able to see that beautiful. We call it a ballet collar. So basically, where your collarbone kind of comes up and pokes through. So we don't want to cover that up with a necklace. Generally, with bikinis, you have the bikini that comes up, and then you have rhinestones that kind of run all the way up to the knot in the back. So that kind of takes the place of the necklace or the bling that you want kind of there. So necklaces are not necessary. Um, and then we do wear bracelets and we wear rings. So I'll show you. Generally, what we like to do is pair a couple bracelets per wrist. We like to wear bracelets on both wrists. So I think I ordered these. I think I got these for $4 at Claire's. This is just a plain double layer stretchy bracelet. It's just blingy. Nothing on it except for just clear rhinestones. This one's my favorite. It's, gosh, I don't know. I just love it. It's beautiful. So I will usually pair this one with another one, kind of like that, and then do the same thing on the other wrist. You can kind of stack it as much as you can. If you are more of a petite body, then I would say we might only stick with maybe just one bracelet. We just kind of will look at your body type, and you can kind of figure that out for yourself as well if you want to if you think, oh, I think maybe a smaller bracelet will look better on me, that's good. I can always consult you with that on your body. Um, we tend to find girls that are under 5 feet that only need smaller bracelets. So if you're over 5 feet, 5 feet 2, you should be fine kind of stacking those. For rings, usually just one on each hand. So you're welcome to wear your wedding ring on one hand and then, a blingy one on the other. I found this one, I think, at like Charming Charlie's or something. So you just want bling. Again, it's Miss America in a way. You want it to be classy, not trashy at all. I kind of think of this as being like Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders meets Miss America in terms of just class, and then kind of the elite best of the best. Um, so I love this ring, nice and blingy. So I'll just wear one on each hand. No anklets, just because that, again, just like we were talking about with the shoes, anklets can cut off the leg, make your legs look shorter. So no anklets, nothing like that. You're welcome to wear a belly ring, but we suggest that you wear a belly ring that is just kind of a small stud, or just not too much, because if it hangs or dangles too much, it just kind of can take away from, it'll draw the eye to your stomach area, and you want your eye to kind of move over the body without stopping at one place. So belly button rings are fine, just needs to be something small, and something that doesn't really match the suit. We want it to be clear. That's another thing, is that the reason we don't do jewelry to match your suit is, one, it's possible we could change your suit the day before, just based on you leading down, and we might have a better cut. And the other thing too is that the matchy jewelry with your suit kind of looks, it leans towards more of like the costume, like trashier side. I don't, trashy is the bad word, but it takes away from the kind of frosted, brilliant, glamorous look. With the clear crystals, it's very classy, and that's really what we're going for, is classy. So we stick more with the classy side. Now, I'm pushing that everybody gets to wear tiaras, but that is probably 5 years in the making. So, so when that happens, I'm going to be a happy girl. I'm just kidding. That's never going to happen. You also might have luck like at a wedding store. If you guys want to stop by a wedding store, they usually have a lot of clear jewelry. And okay, so here's a couple things. You're welcome to wear, they do make really pretty hoop earrings that have like bling around them. I don't think I have any, but those are fine. Just make sure that they're a standard size hoop, nothing more than like a 1.5 inch diameter, or 2 inch diameter. Anything bigger than that, like I've seen girls, gosh, that wear literally hoops the size of their head. We don't want any of that. We really just want a standard size hoop, with bling on it. That's totally fine. The chandelier earrings are totally fine. Those look great. You want something that moves, but you also want something that has structure. So remember that. And then one last thing I'm just going to talk about is nails. So for the show, we ask that you get like a French manicure, and pedicure. You're welcome to use those Kiss press-on pedicures. Those are great if you want to use those. Save yourself a manicure, or the cost of a manicure and pedicure. So you can do the Kiss press-on nails for both your toes and your hands. It's totally fine. But we need you to have, it needs to be a mid-size length nail. So nothing too short, nothing too crazy long, but something that is a white tip and long enough to be noticeable is what we're looking for. So both your toes and your hands will be the French. No matching colors for that as well. So we have some girls that actually while we're waiting backstage will pop on their nails That's totally fine to do that. I tend to like to get mine just done on the Tuesday before the show and just get it done and out of the way so I don't have to deal with it. So that's my recommendation. So last week, Heather and Ashley, we went over the bikini front and back, basically your front pose, getting around to the back pose, and then coming back around to the front pose. So just as a recap, I'm going to show that to you. And then Morgan, if you will hold tight, I will show you your figure poses.
Okay.
We're going to have, no, you're local, right, Morgan?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's right. So we'll be able to accommodate you in the local classes. All right, so from the front to the back, just as a refresher. So basically, you're going to be rotated so that your hips are basically turned away from the judges, but your shoulders are turned towards the judges. And the reason we're doing that is we're creating a hourglass shape with our bodies. And to get from the front to the back, you'll just basically bring your outside leg, whichever leg really feels comfortable to you, bring it together, take a step forward and rotate. Out. Hold it for about, when you're doing your presentation, you'll hold it for about 2 seconds. And then as you get from the back to the front, you'll come together, turn, and open back up into your front pose. Okay, so that's basics. So if you ladies, Ashley and Heather, will stand up and start to kind of walk through that. I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes to like warm up and kind of get going with that. And I'm going to show Morgan her poses. Talk with her about it. Okay, so with your figure posing, you're basically everything that you're doing, Morgan, for figure posing is on stage. Your walk is the same as a bikini person. Your stage presence, your glutes and shoulder and all of that, it's the same thing. It's just that your poses are a little different. So I don't know if you've watched any YouTube videos, but basically you do quarter turns. So front, turn to the right, side, turn to the right, back, turn to the right, side, and then turn to the right, facing front. For your poses, you're basically going to have your feet together. You're going to push your hips back. And basically, I think about it like a bucket of water. So your hips are going to basically tip out, and you're going to dump a bucket of water out from your hips. And then you're going to keep your upper body and shoulders as wide as possible. So for a lat spread, you're going to have to practice your lat spreads. So you'll find yourself in the gym doing this. But to get a lat spread, one thing I like to do is I like to bend over, and that will get kind of my back wide and flared. And then you can basically ease up and stand up, keep your shoulders in the same position, and it will allow your lats to flare here. That's basically the look that you're going for. You want your shoulders pulled forward and up, and basically when you do that, it rounds out your back and pulls your lats out. So that's the look we're going for. We don't want your arms out here. We don't want you like this. We want your arms basically within touching distance of your leg. So as you kind of come up and pull forward, your arms should be within touching distance of your thigh. Okay, so this is front pose. Your arch to the back. My butt is basically pushed back really far, and I'm coming up and over the judges. To turn, you do two things, one of two things. You can do a military turn where you take your right leg, put it behind you, and turn. Or you can do, this is a basic turn, where you take your left leg, take a step forward, pivot, and come back together. So it's your preference, however you want to do that, fine. Just play around with that and see how you feel comfortable. So front pose. Front pose is coming up and over the judges. I'm able to touch my thighs. I'm going to rotate to the side. As I rotate to the side, I'm going to reach with my right hand, pull my hair off my shoulder. So basically, you want your shoulders to be visible. And then I'm going to, as I'm facing forward, my butt is tipped back again. and I'm going to rotate my shoulder so that I can see my back shoulder. So you're here, you're going to rotate, and then you're going to look forward. So you're basically going from here. It's a small step. You can relax and then go back into this pose and look forward. You'll do the same thing. Take a step. Again, your butt is as possible. Your back is spread. Again, you'll turn forward. Again, so I can see this back shoulder. Front again. So that is basic. If you will hop up and just play around with those motions, see if you can kind of get a good feel for that. And I'm going to have a look at Heather and Ashley and see how their posing is going. So, okay, all right. Okay, so from getting from here to the back. So both of you right now have your weight on a standing leg and then your weight kind of on your auxiliary leg. So I want you to take the leg that doesn't have weight on it and bring it in. So I think, well, I'll take that back. What I would do is maybe pop up onto it. See what you feel comfortable with. Yeah, you can pop up onto it like that. That's totally fine. When you come in, make sure that this toe touches the arch of this foot. Don't go any further ahead. I want it to be kind of right there. Don't have it out here. I want it like there. So, good. Yes, on both of you. That's good. And then, actually go back to your front pose.
I don't know what book you really need.
Good. Straighten your leg. Perfect. Okay. And then pop up onto that leg that's kind of forward. So instead of coming back like that, I want you to actually move up onto that leg. There you go. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. That's how I think you should do it, Ashley. And then Heather, again, you kind of have the same stances, but it actually looks good. So, okay. So go back to your front pose. Actually hit your front pose. Good. Okay. I want you guys, so you both can see yourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So, I really want you in this position, and you may need to take a rest, but I really want you to feel it in this hip that's closest to me. I want you to feel it in this muscle group right here. So, right in here, it should be tight. So it should be really cranked. And one thing that I see on stage that looks really good is when you push your glute back and you can kind of feel it in here. And I'll see bikini girls actually kind of crank back a little more where they'll pull their chest back and over their butt, which is it creates so many curves. I love it. Unfortunately, it can be kind of painful and you have to develop those muscles. So think about that. I want to work on getting from your front pose to the back pose. And I want to play around with this. So a couple options, and I showed this to you last week, but just to reiterate, there are a couple different things you can do. So in your front pose, like we just practiced, you can come together. You can take a step forward and rotate and push your hip out. And then you can come together and step out with your toes. That's totally fine to do that. Another thing you can do is from your front pose, you can kind of come together. You can step and walk around yourself and then step into your back pose. I like that because it's dynamic. So one thing, so just to reiterate, you just come together. This leg that's in front, you'll take a step forward and bring the other leg around. Cock your hip out. And then step back. Let me think of another thing you can do. Okay, sometimes I see girls do this, and it works for them. So they'll come together, and they'll actually walk across their body this way, and then open back up. That's a very simple transition. So you'll just walk across. I don't really like that because it's kind of just it's too plain. So you can kind of walk across and hike your heel up here. And open that up, that's fine. Let's see. Another thing you can do, I'm trying to think, Christy and Michelle have similar programs. They do something, they kind of do a little more walking. So they'll come together, they'll actually bring this back leg together, switch, and then just kind of walk around themselves. And they'll kind of spend some time just like, sorry, I'm on carpet, so it's a little difficult. So that's an option. There are other things that you can do. So if you feel like you're comfortable on stage and comfortable in heels, you're welcome to create this as much as you want it to be like dynamic. If you're kind of nervous and you're like, I just want to get it from the front to the back and back to the front and be done, that's totally fine. It is not going to make or break you when it comes to competing. It's just what you're comfortable with. So, okay. Okay, let's go into your front pose. And I know that last week we kind of found a transition for you to get to the back. So if you'll play with that, I'm just going to watch you for a few seconds. Play around with getting from the front to the back. Try out a few things. Good, Heather. Good, Ashley. Yeah, that's good. Heather, when you come around, so yeah, keep going. Okay, there, right there, pause, Heather. I want you to push your glute back as much as, there you go, right there. So when you come around, I want you to think about pushing your glute out. I know it feels like you're just like putting your butt into, like, that's not what it's about. You're just trying to keep your glute high. Good, very good. All right, Ashley, I want to watch you.
I have to see it again.
No problem.
I have to see you do it again. Sorry.
No problem. So, front pose, come together. This is what I would do for you, Ashley. I would come here, and I would actually walk around yourself because I think it's going to be dynamic on you. So, come together, take a step forward with this leg, walk around yourself, and kick your glute out. Don't fall like I am, and then take a step back and open up into your back. So, just one more time. Come together, take a step forward with your leg, cock your hip out, and
Okay.
let me do that again.
Yeah, one more time. Sorry.
Okay, sure. So you're here. Does it help if I go like this? Is that more like you're posing?
I don't know, and that's how it's so hard because I'm like, I don't know where I'm at compared to you, and
Yeah.
I don't know what leg's supposed to come out.
Okay. So tell me, hop into your front pose.
The one that.
The one.
I think this.
That one, yes. Okay, so the leg that the reason I'm asking this is sometimes Skype will reverse a video, and so your left leg is actually your right leg. What side is your hand on your hip?
Left.
Okay. So what I want you to do is bring your right leg together. Good, and then take a step out with your right leg to the front. Bring your left leg around and put your butt out. Go back. Go back into your front pose. Yes, you're this way. So bring your right leg together. Then right leg steps forward. Keep facing me. Bring your left leg towards the camera. And around. Turn to your right. Turn to your right. Go back into your front pose. Good. Okay. So your right leg comes to the front. Take a step forward with your right leg. Left leg comes out and around to the front. Turn the other way. There you go. There it is. Try that one more time. So front pose, right leg comes together. Right leg takes a step forward. Left leg comes around. There you go. Yes, right there. Okay, practice that.
Okay.
And then Heather, I want to watch you real quick. Good. Push out. Very good. Push back. Hey, Heather, bring your, in your back pose, I want you to bring your feet a little closer together. Good, right there. And I want you to turn your toes out, just slightly, like an inch. Good. Push back. Excellent. Right there. All right, stay, hold it. I want you to bring your hands in closer towards your pelvis. Good. Yes. And then your elbows, I want you to act like you're going to push them back toward, yeah, there you go. Right there. That's your back pose right there. So go back to your front pose and I want to see you get into that. Push, push, push. Good. Legs closer together, toes out. Bring your elbows back. Good. Try it again. Good. Yeah. Okay. So this is, you can take a break. I just want to wrap up here. Okay. So I want you to practice that, even if you just practice like twice over the next week or so. Put your heels on and just kind of practice getting around the way that we worked on today. I know we just worked on getting from the front to the back, but I really want to nail down that those positions for each of you so that you're comfortable in that. And then the next week we will try to finish up getting you from the back to the front and nailing down those positions. I don't want you to overthink it because I know as we break it down, it can kind of feel like we're overthinking it and like placing everything, but it is a process and we develop this and we build on things. So just kind of bear with me as we work through all of this and then work with each person. So next week, I'll get to see you in studio and so we can kind of see where you are with your posing, but practice that. I want you to feel next week when you come to posing, I want you to feel comfortable getting from that front pose into the back pose. I want you to focus also on keeping your hip and your glute up and back as much as possible because the reason we do that is it makes your glutes look rounder. So it kind of pulls your glute up a little bit. So it kind of keeps your glute from having that smile line, what I call the smile line underneath your kind of where your hamstring and your glute meet. So that's why we keep those up. So do you guys have any questions before I log off?
How long does it take you to break into your shoes?
I would say a few weeks. I would say probably a good month. Yeah, okay. Give yourself a month. They're tight.
They're pretty intense. They hurt right now.
Yeah, I know. I have some people that like, it's so weird because every time somebody puts the shoes on, I hear a different thing. Like, oh, it hurts my ankle, or oh, I'm getting a cramp in my arch, or I'm getting a cramp in my calf, or whatever. So it's like everybody's got kind of a weird thing. I know for me, like it hurts my arch, and so my arches kill me at the end of a posing class because it's like, I don't know. So, anyways, any other questions? Oh, I can't hear you, Heather.
I look forward to being back in the studio tomorrow or next week because it's really hard online.
Yeah,
it is. I know it's hard. We do the best that we can, especially with our girls that aren't local. We try to kind of, but they didn't, before last year, we didn't even have virtual posing. So like they would have to come in twice a year for like a seminar and it would be like an hour and a half and that's all they'd get. So, at least we get like, at least we have this as a backup, and then our virtual girls, we try to get them, up to speed as much as possible without having them in studio. So, but you're right, it is nice to have in studio. That's why we do our fit camps so that we can get our people that are, you know, not local, we can get them in the studio and kind of, you know, have a look at them, like have them on the stage, be able to kind of look at everything. So, but yeah, you're right. I know it's nice to have.
Is there a fit camp coming up?
Yeah, we have a fit camp coming up April 16th.
Okay.
So, yep. All right. If you guys don't have any more questions, then you can hop off, and I will see you guys next Tuesday, weather permitting. So,
Awesome.
all right. Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.